Hey, happy holidays from your friends at Video Games Monthly.
And you're watching 8-Bit Glitch, and you're glitching out. Cheers.
Alright guys, since it is the season of giving, Video Games Monthly have graciously donated a $50 subscription box for you. That's right, if you want to win this awesome box of mystery games, down in the comments, put down the favorite item you've ever received for Christmas. Your all-time favorite gift you've ever received. Put that down in the comments, and on our last episode, I will be doing a drawing from that video of comments and picking a winner to receive this box of goodness. Thanks again to Video Games Monthly. Please check them out at videogamesmonthly.com. And as you know from this channel, I do many unboxings of these, so go back and check those out as well if you haven't already. So with that, let's get back to the video.
So wait a minute, I was just thinking, we didn't even give a shameless plug.
Oh,
How do I sign up for Video Games Monthly? www.videogamesmonthly.com. And then you may be asking yourself, how do I pay for videogamesmonthly.com?
credit card? You got it.
What's going on, guys? 8-Bit Glitch 79 here, and we're back again for the 12 Nostalgic Days of Christmas, day number 6. I hope you're enjoying the memories being shared by our guests so far, and of course the memories that I have been sharing as well. So with that, let's kick it off with our first guest. Our first guest is a dear friend of mine, Aldo. I got to meet Aldo when he put on a Game Swap event back right before the pandemic hit, down in Connecticut at the Norwalk Public Library. It was a great free event for people to come trade, sell games, just to get the community together, and it was such a fantastic event. We were looking forward to another one, but unfortunately the world came to a crashing halt, and yeah, we haven't had one in a couple of years, and that was his first, so it was very disappointing. But hopefully things will come around and we'll be able to kick that off again. It was an event called Algo, play off of his name, which is Aldo. So Aldo, tell us what your nostalgic memory is.
Hey, 8-Bit Glitch 79, Aldo here, and I just want to talk about what makes me feel nostalgic for Christmas, and in particular, it's one movie. Now, most people always associate Christmas with Home Alone. Great classic. Nothing wrong with this movie. It is a fun time. But I want to talk about a movie that's maybe a little bit more overlooked than it deserves to be. And it is the 1996 absolute classic, Jingle All the Way from Arnold Schwarzenegger. So why is it nostalgic for me? Well, the reason why is it was a pretty epic adventure that led to me watching this in the theaters in the first place. So back in December 1996, I went to New York with my cousins who lived there in Brooklyn, and we took an entire day from the afternoon into the evening, spent it at the movie theaters watching Jingle All the Way. So what we did is we actually started with Jingle All the Way, and then we went to see Beavis and Butthead Do America, Daylight, and also One Fine Day. So it really was one fine day at the end of it all. But so every time I watch this movie, I am transported back to December 1996, going back to the movie theaters in New York with my cousins, my loved ones, and just enjoying this comedy movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, Schwarzenegger is obviously known for being in these uber crazy action movies. And, you know, he before this, he had dabbled in comedy a little bit. But this is really maybe the first time where he was like a family man. And he's doing something for his family. So, you know, Jingle All the Way, it's an incredibly funny movie. It's incredibly quotable. There's so many funny and memorable moments in it. But one thing that maybe people overlook is that the movie has a ton of heart. And it does have a message about family, right? Because the whole crux of the movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger is on the hunt for this really hot toy, Turbo Man, that his son just loves. He wants it for Christmas. And up to this point, Arnold has failed his family because he has focused so much on work that he's forgotten how to be a father. So the overarching message of this movie is that in this pursuit of this incredibly rare toy, he discovers what it means to be a dad again, what it means to be a father, what it means to be in a family, right? So through this whole journey, he learns and he develops as a character. And, obviously as a kid, you don't notice that. But when you become older, those parallels happen. You sacrifice so much as an adult, you become part of the process of being an employee at a job, crunching the hours, crunching the numbers, all for the betterment of yourself and the betterment of your family. And we lose ourselves in that sometimes. And in this movie, it shows you how family, at the end of the day, is really the most important thing out there. And there is nothing that we would not do for our loved ones, even if it's finding this uber elusive toy. So that's what Jingle All the Way brings to me, other than it being infinitely entertaining, infinitely fun. And it's a family-friendly movie. You can watch it with the family, get in that Christmas mood. It just has so many really nice Christmas songs in it as well. And it crescendos with a parade. I mean, it's a great movie. Highly recommended. If you haven't seen it, don't let your preconceived notions of Arnold Schwarzenegger taint the experience. It's actually a really, really fun, universally relatable movie. So check it out. Jingle All the Way. It's a great movie. Just don't ever watch the sequel, because we're just going to pretend that never happened. But I'd be remiss if I did not talk about, going back to Jingle All the Way, ever since 1996, I've always wanted to get a Turbo Man doll, because it symbolizes so much joy of what the movie brings to me every Christmas, and it is a tradition I hope to repeat with my nephews, my niece, and just spread the word. But one way to do that, I'm so happy to have this. I've got a Turbo Man doll. Haha. Yes. I got the real deal at home. So, yeah, Jingle All the Way is my nostalgic Christmas moment. So, on behalf of myself, have a wonderful Christmas, have a safe holiday, and be well. Hopefully you find your Turbo Man in life. Thank you.
Aldo, that's a great movie. It's one of my favorite Christmas movies. Growing up in the 80s, of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Van Damme, all those guys, they were kind of like big staples in my cinema watching. So when anytime an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie came out, I had to watch it. And I loved it when he got into the comedy and doing different things than just the macho man action kind of stuff. I thought they were great movies, and especially this one, I really love it and watch it every year for sure. Okay guys, so now we're moving on to our next guest. Our next guest also comes from way of Connecticut. It is none other than the great DIY Mario Kart driving Russ Lyman. What do you got for us, Russ?
What's up, everyone? Russ Lyman here. Sean reached out to me and wanted me to talk about some nostalgia, the 12 days of nostalgia. Great concept, and something definitely comes to mind, but we have to head to the car. Alright guys, we are headed to a place that definitely makes me feel nostalgic. I don't know if you guys have the same feeling attached to a place rather than a video game or something like that, a toy in your collection. I have a physical place that when I see it, it just brings me back. We're here. We arrived. Let's go check it out. So this just looks like a regular door right here, security door, but that wasn't always the case. So the door behind me used to be accessible when this was a Sears. It is now a Burlington Coat Factory, but back in the day it was a Sears, and through that door led to the small video game section that they had, and they had a kiosk there where you could try out the games. I remember so much coming here and playing those games. It's not too far from where I live, so we were able to walk here, me and my friends, and try out whatever games they had in the kiosk. Super Nintendo kiosk, you know, Super Mario World, Street Fighter, and then not too far from here, right across the way back here, was another store called Service Merchandise. Again, one of those retro stores that are no longer around, unfortunately, but they too had video games in there and a kiosk. And I remember plenty of times playing Super Mario World on their kiosks. You know, we were young kids and we couldn't afford video games. Maybe we only got them for our birthday or Christmas. So to try out a new game was awesome in this store. And, you know, being close to where I lived, I was able to, again, walk there, ride my bike, and go play some Super Nintendo until one of the kids on the street got the game. But every time I pass by these buildings, I always kind of think of those memories, Service Merchandise and returning to Sears here to play some video games. Definitely a fun, nostalgic memory. Can't wait to hear what you guys also have to say about your nostalgic memory. Well, back to the Mario Kart car. We got some shopping to do, so hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Oh, I think I mentioned earlier in this actual series of this year that I remember so many stores that are no longer here that I miss going to as a kid. Ames was one, Rich's, Caldor. There was even one called Mars for a little while there. Don't remember that one completely, just a little bit. But I totally miss those stores. I think I mentioned before that when I'm out tag sailing or at the flea market and I happen to find old products that people are selling that are still sealed and they have price tags on them, and I see that Ames or Rich's price tag, it almost makes me want to buy whatever it is just because of that tag, because it brings back so much memories of going to those stores, rolling up and down the toy aisles, and of course the electronics section with the video games and being able to play them. Man, those were good times. Okay guys, so I guess it's my turn to pick my item for this episode. And just like Aldo, I'm going with a Christmas movie. That movie being Christmas Vacation. Man, this movie is such a staple in our household. We have to watch it at least 2 or 3 times a season. We used to watch it while putting up the tree. That would be the kickoff for the season. But since we've had kids, we stopped doing that because for one, the kids wanted to watch something else when they were younger. And so we'd have to have like Mickey's Christmas, something like that on or whatever. But we still get to watch it. We make sure to watch it at least a few times during the season. And I think we've already watched it at least twice this season. And I'm sure there'll be another viewing before the month's over. But anyways, the reason this movie is so nostalgic to me, other than those reasons I kind of just gave, was when it came out in '89 in the theaters, I was able to go see it. Now, I was probably only, let's do the math, like 9 or 10, I guess, when it came out. So you think a 9 or 10-year-old might not want to go see this. But what it was is we were out Christmas shopping. I was with my sister. My sister's about 10 years older than I am. So she was about 20 or so at the time. And she was engaged to her future husband then. And they were going out with his family. Like, he has a big family, and they would all get together, go to the big mall, do all their Christmas shopping, and then we go out to eat. And then it was then they decided we were going to go see this movie, and so I was kind of dragged along to it. But of course, as I mentioned before, going to the movies, any chance to go to the movies when I was a kid was just like, if you could have showed me a documentary on making of yarn, and I would have been like, let's go, because going to the theater was just exciting to me. So I was all on board, let's go. And so we went and we saw this movie, and I remember laughing so hard at it, even at 10 years old. I mean, I got all the jokes, I got everything that was going on. It was just hilarious. And so I just remember that specific Christmas season, going shopping all day, out to eat, and then going to the movies to see that, and with my sister and her fiance's family, and it was just a magical time. I just remember that Christmas very vividly, because I didn't get to go to the mall often, and so to go to the mall all day, to go out to eat, go to the movies, it was just like a jam-packed day for me. So I really remember that really closely, and every time we watch this movie, I think back on that Christmas of '89 when we went to that movie, and I had that whole day with my sister and her fiance's family, and it was just a fun memory. And so that's why I got kind of another connection to that movie, other than it just being a great movie and me having the tradition of watching it every year with my family. Just that memory in '89, it just sticks with me. So guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please stay tuned tomorrow for the next episode. We'll be trudging along here through the series all the way up through Christmas Eve, and I hope you're enjoying it. So until tomorrow's episode, I'm glitching out.